this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. I'm headed to the post office first and then just riding around like I usually do. Yeah, it seems like I've been going to the post office a lot. Wind is cutting out most of my hearing. When the wind blows up against your ears, you can't hear yourself talk, so you kind of talk funny. So what am I riding today? Well, it's big, it's heavy. What did I measure this out at? Like 110 pounds or something like that. I think it was like something like that. Yeah, it's the Electric Bike Company Model S. Yeah, this is the big one. This one was custom made for the RUSSISRIGHT channel by Electric Bike Company. Yeah, it's got every option on it. So that brought the price of the bike way up there. Now you can get a more standard version, a little over 2,000, I believe. It's something like that. Check it out on their website, Electric Bike Company. They got some promos going on too. I think there's some paint promo options going on. They wanted me to let you guys know. If you're interested in that, contact me and I'll let you know what it is. But they have a lot of different type of bikes. This one happens to be the one that looks like a beach cruiser, which I kind of like. It's different than all the other bikes that I have. And we're showing 19.8 miles per hour on my speedometer, and the radar showed me at 19 miles an hour. So we are within 1 mile per hour, less than 1 mile per hour accuracy. That's pretty good. So what's the weather like today? Well, I waited a little bit before I headed out. What's the time? 10:42. It's 68, 69 degrees out. Now there is a thermometer on the display. It shows 73% or 73 degrees. Sorry. I never trust that thing. That thing seems to be always off. I don't know why. I tend to trust my phone, who tells me what the temperature is. So this bike is a pure Class 3 bike. At least that's how I set it up to be. So it will do pure Class 2 operation. And if you pedal hard, you can get it up to 28 miles per hour. I've never gotten it that high up. I don't have the leg strength to bring it that fast in pedaling in order to get it that far. So I only added a couple of things to this bike. I added a water bottle cage on the basket, which I do to most of my bikes. I added a cell phone mount. I have a front blinking light on my handlebar, and I have a blinking tail light on my back end as well. Let's stop here. We got cars coming. So yeah, the post office requires me to get on the streets to get there, but not with all the cars coming. We gotta wait for all of them to go through. And the road that I'm on is a shared road. You might see on the road it's painted with the bicycle, which means cars need to know that bikes might be on this road with you. Now the throttle on this bike is a little different. I've mentioned this in the past, but in case you're new, if you want to go 20 miles per hour with your throttle, then you need to be on pedal assist level 5. So whatever the pedal assist level is set for, that is what the maximum speed is your throttle will give you. So to get maximum speed, I need to be on pedal assist level 5. Now typically when I come down this road, I'll be doing at least 25 miles an hour, sometimes 28. But this bike won't do that unless you pedal at the 28, and I don't have the leg strength to do it. So usually when I ride this bike, I tend to throttle and pedal at the same time. So I'm at 24 miles per hour going down a little incline, pedal a little bit, use the throttle as well. You see that the speed will drop as I'm going up the incline again. That was a decline, sorry. Now I'm going up an incline. Now, a couple things about the batteries on this bike. There's a big battery pack in the back of the bike on the rear rack. It's actually kind of hidden under the rack. So you have a full regular top rack. It's kind of a neat design. Neat. Neat design. And the front basket has a couple of batteries in there too. Because I added so many batteries to this bike, the bike became very heavy. Yeah, it's something, I think it's something like 110 pounds or something like that. Last I measured it. I always forget exactly the thing, but all you need to know is pretty heavy, right? And because there's so much weight in the front, it tends to make the bike shimmy a little bit. I mentioned that before on another bike that I felt that it was like shimmying around a little bit. That's because the weight in the front just off balances the bike a little bit. So what I decided to do this time is I'm running the front batteries first. I'm using the batteries that are in the basket. There's 2 of them in here. Sometimes that thing rattles in the basket. I still have not fixed it. I tried to this morning, but the screws underneath that hold those batteries in place, they're just kind of spinning around. They're not allowing me to take it off. So I don't know whether I really can fix it at this point. So if you hear any type of rattling sounds from the basket, it's just the batteries bouncing around in the basket a little bit. They really need to put a better rubber pad underneath there. There is a small rubber pad there, but it's just not enough to cut it all out. So I'm running those batteries first today, and if those batteries happen to run out of power, then at that point I'll switch to the rear battery. My philosophy has always been with battery systems like this. I mean, I can have them both on at the same time if I wanted to, but I'm just going to do one at a time. And I typically like to use the smaller of the 2 batteries first, because if I go someplace, I use the smaller of the 2 batteries, and I run out of battery power, then I know that I have enough battery power to get home because the bigger battery is still available. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm doing. I need to tell you a little bit about this whole battery system. The last time I took this bike out, we went to the Des Plaines River. It's in the area of Mount Prospect, and I figured, well, you know, I've got all these big batteries and everything. I could just throttle there and throttle back and then not worry about it. I have plenty of power to get around. I mean, the published range is about 200 miles, but that's under ideal conditions. So we already know that you're never going to get that, not with my weight and not with the way I ride using throttle so much. So I figured, well, okay, let's drop that down. 100 miles between all these batteries, 80 miles at least, right? I figured no problem. I barely had enough to get back home. I don't know how many miles that thing was. I don't think it was more than 20, 25 miles, something like that maybe, I don't know. So what happened? I was thinking I had the batteries fully charged. I charged it up, I believe. Maybe I didn't, I don't know. But I'll tell you this morning, before I took this bike out, I put it through my normal check everything type of thing, put some air in the tires. The tires had lost a lot of air already since that last ride. I put in 45 pounds of pressure on these tires. They're not the extremely fat tires. I only put 20 pounds of pressure in those. But I filled it up with air, and then I plugged in the batteries. There's a separate charger for the front battery, separate charger for the back. In fact, the rear battery comes with the charger. Or the charger is actually inside the battery pack. You just pull the cable out and plug it in. And then the front one, you have separate external charger. Let me take the mail out first. Tell you the story as we go. And I'll show you the bike too. Let's back up a little bit here. There's the bike. Yeah, it's a nice looking bike. custom paint job, everything. I'll take my mail out of here. I have 2 pieces of mail this time. Throw that in there, make sure it goes all the way in. See, it doesn't go all the way in because there's so much stuffed in here. I want to make sure mine goes in there and doesn't get stuck where someone can pull it out. There we go. Yeah, people always are nervous that I'm using the post office. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's get off of this first, and I'll talk a little bit more. There's a front suspension, but no rear suspension on here. All right, let me move up a little bit here. Across the street, then we'll talk. All right, so I plugged everything in, and I knew for a fact this time that I had charged this bike fully before I put it away, and with the intention that I was going to take it out again, but of course we didn't, so it had been sitting for weeks again. So I figured I'd top off the batteries in case anything got lost. The front batteries, maybe about half hour of additional charge brought it up to full power. So something must have lost a little bit there, right? Because it took a half hour's worth of charging. Whoops, I run over a pebble or something. The other battery in the back, I don't know, about 2.5 hours of charging. So I'm thinking, well, why is it taking 2.5 hours to charge that rear battery? That thing was fully charged just like the front was, which tells me something drains this battery. Either by itself naturally drains or something in it is draining that battery. So I know in order for me to get the full power of usage of batteries here, I've got to charge these things up before I leave. I think that has to be the norm for all of my rides going forward. If I want to take a bike either the night before or the day of, I gotta charge it up a little bit, top it off. Now there are some bikes that when I try to top it off, it doesn't top off, which tells me nothing's really lost. It's just kind of still where it was when I left it, right? Not this bike. So I think maybe that's why I wasn't getting the range I was expecting to get out of this bike. So that part's not that good, right? All these bikes have some little thing that, you know, if it was this, it'd be a little bit better. If it, you know, if they did this, it would be a little bit better. So that would be the one criticism I have. Let me get some water here. It's a longer reach to get to that water bottle. I'm holding off because I got cars coming up here. I don't want to be drinking while the cars are passing me. Let them make their pass first. No, the talking sometimes just dries my mouth out. So I need a little bit of water. So I was thinking today, should we replicate that ride? Just to see if it really is, you know, it just doesn't have the range that it says, or was it the battery? I'm pretty sure it was the battery. I mean, I didn't top it off the last time I took it out, and then we found it barely had enough to get myself home. Well, now it's topped off on both batteries. Should we do it? I mean, it's going back into the same areas we did recently, just a little bit further. You know, this bike doesn't really go extremely fast. Like I said, if I only rely on the throttle, 20 miles per hour is the max I can do. And that always makes me a little nervous because, you know, when I'm on the streets, I usually do want to go a little bit quicker. All right. So even like going up this little incline here, I'm throttling fully. I'm only getting about 17.3 miles per hour. So I know that holds off the cars a little bit. If I was able to do at least 25, I feel better about being on the street with them. Or we can just ride around here. I mean, it really doesn't matter as far as if we're just checking to see our range. Doesn't matter where we're really going. I never did an official range test on this bike because there was always something holding me back, and so I never did that. And I did remember to reset the trip meter this time. I did at least do that. I've done 4.1 miles already since I took the bike out. Yeah, we'll keep going. If I head in that direction, then we head in that direction. If we don't, then we don't. We'll just kind of ride it, see what happens. So how's the weather in your area? I know it's getting colder. This week has been colder for sure. I'm gonna wait for this car behind me to go. And then we're gonna move over a little bit here. Some blockage. Let's just get through this first. All right, we're away from all the power tools or whatever they're using on that. So yeah, the weather has been low 70s to mid 70s this week, something like that. And I've been waiting to go outside because it's too cold in the morning now. That's interesting, huh? However, next week we're expected to be in the low 80s. So yeah, our weather just keeps going up and down. Well, I think essentially fall is pretty much coming up on us. It's only a couple more days we'll hit fall anyway, so it's not really that surprising. But I don't know, this year I feel like I didn't get a chance to ride as much as I wanted to. Last year I rode less than I wanted to from the previous year, which was my first year with the bikes. So every year it seems to be getting less. What's up with that? Now, I had some vacation times that took me away. I went to California, I went to Alaska. So I was gone for a good 3 weeks between those two trips. And then the weather started happening, and then the air quality started happening from the fires coming from Canada. It was wrecking up our air quality for several days. So yeah, I feel like I haven't had a chance to go out as much as I would have liked to have gone out. So I'm looking at the battery meter here. This one is based on voltage. It tells me the actual voltage, and there's a 5-bar battery display on here as well. Now if I let up on the throttle, you can see it's showing it like 51.5, 51.6. It'll go up. Under load, it'll drop, of course, as you're pushing and moving the bike forward. And of course, you want to save battery, you should be pedaling at a lower pedal assist, of course. But I always kind of looked at this bike as something I could just throttle because of the amount of batteries on here. I even said at one time I'd like to have taken this to the North Branch Trail, hit the Botanic Gardens with it, and turned it into my long-range bike. The only thing with that is, you know, I had taken the Rad Rover 5 on that trip for every time I'd gone to the Botanic Garden because it was my long-range bike. Well, that bike has been sold and it's gone. And 2 batteries that I took with it were the 2 triangle batteries, 20 amp hour each. That's gone. But I have more amp hours on this bike than the other bike, and since it only goes up to 20 miles per hour, I should have more range on this bike. But you have to remember too, this is a heavier bike. Rad Rover 5 with the standard battery was, what was that thing, about 68, 69 pounds, something like that. Well, when I put on the unit pack power triangle batteries, that added weight to it. I would say that bike probably was in the 85-ish pounds range. Well, this one's probably like 112 or more. So add in my weight. It tends to eat up the battery more. So I don't think this could actually be the long range bike that I would like it to be. But I don't know for a fact. I've never done the range test. But I just have a gut feeling it wouldn't make it there and back. And I would need to compete with the cars, and I could only do 20 miles per hour. Now, the Rad Rover 5 is a 20 miles per hour bike too, but you can unlock it for 25. So I was competing at 25. So I lose 5 miles per hour with this bike because I could only get 25 if I pedaled it, and I can't pedal it that long to compete. So yeah, I don't think this is my long range bike, even though it has a lot of batteries in it. So if I wanted to do that ride again, which bike would I take? I think I would take the Ocelot Pro or the Deere Mini, which is now called the Deere Step Through 20. Yeah, I prefer to take a larger bike. I could take the Deere with 2 additional batteries besides the one that's running. I would take 2 additional batteries for those others as well. So in other words, carrying 3 batteries with me, 1 to use and two in the back rack. That would give me 60 amp hours. Sounds like a lot, right? But hey, we all know what happened when I took the Deere out before with 60 amp hours. I had a flat out of it. And again, I felt the same thing, that something could be draining those batteries before taking it out. I don't think it was fully charged, or I didn't charge the battery up. More than likely, I didn't charge it up fully. A lot of times now, I have not been charging my batteries, and after riding them for a while, if the batteries are in the 70%, 60% ranges, I've been leaving them alone. Because I kind of figured I got to do a top off anyway. Why put them into 100% state if you don't know when you're going to take the bike out next? So speaking of batteries, just yesterday, or I should say last night, I was speaking to one of our subscribers via the comment section, and we were talking about batteries, and I had mentioned that when the battery hits green on your charger, that you should go ahead and pretty much say, hey, let's go and pull the plug. Well, another person said that, well, they have automatic things that will shut down the battery charger. I don't trust them. I just don't trust them. That's why I pull it. But then it was brought to my attention that it says you should try to leave it on for an extra hour or 2 longer so that it can charge to the other batteries on the bottom of the chain. Meaning, these when you have a battery pack, there's multiple batteries in there. It's not just one. There's multiple batteries comprised to make the one big battery pack. And so sometimes the batteries in the back end don't get the charge unless you let it go through more. I've heard that before. Yeah, this is not new to me. But given the recent battery fires that have happened and people saying overcharging is what's been causing that, I kept thinking, is that a smart thing to do? Now, there was a time when Rad Power Bikes was telling people that every month or so you should deep charge your batteries like 12 hours. I wonder if they still say that or not, because we hear about the battery fires happening, and it's usually because some guy left it charging longer than he should have. Well, wouldn't the 12-hour deep charge be considered charging it more than you should have? That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know whether that is a thing we should be doing now or not, given the circumstances around how some of the battery fires happen. Now, as far as the battery fires themselves, we never seem to get much details about what kind of bikes, what kind of batteries, what kind of things, what was the circumstances that caused these battery fires. all they ever report on is there was a big battery fire. And it was in New York. It seems like it's always in New York for whatever reason. So I'm thinking we need more information when these battery fires happen so we can kind of hone down where the problems came from, right? Now, why is it always in New York? I'm thinking this, and a lot of them mention in the articles that some of these guys are, need some water, hold on. Some of these guys are guys that do deliveries with their bikes. They have to charge their bike a lot because if they're riding all day long for deliveries, their batteries can't last forever. They're going to have to do a charge. And I think sometimes they're buying maybe cheaper Chinese batteries. And a lot of people mention this because we don't know the construction techniques. We don't know what the cells are. If we knew all that kind of stuff, we can kind of hone down where's all this fire happening. A lot of people also mention too that, you know, there are some really good batteries out there that use good cells like LG and Samsung and all that. But the thing is, if the construction techniques of building the battery is poor, and it doesn't matter what the cells you use, you know, if that thing shorts out because of poor construction, that's bad, right? So we really need to know more about what's causing these fires, what kind of stuff are they using, that type of information. We don't have that, it seems like. So everybody suffers because of that, because that's the news. You know, when it hits the news, everyone says, oh, e-bikes, yeah, you don't want that, that's going to cause a battery fire. If that's the case, my whole house could blow up. I got a lot of batteries in there. But it seems that most of the times, it seems to be in conjunction with during the charge time when they're riding. I mean, there are some where we've seen where people have ridden their bike and it just caught on fire. I've seen videos from China, it's always from China, of bikes that have caught fire spontaneously. You know, it's just sitting there and just blowing up. You can't stop these fires either, by the way, because when one cell goes, even if you can put that one slightly out, it sparks off the next cell. It just keeps going. You can go for a long time before that fire gets out. So yeah, it's not good. Now, other things have been brought up too that state of New York, I think, has cracked down and said that unless batteries are UL certified, you're not allowed to sell that bike in New York anymore. Well, that prompted Rad Power Bikes, at least for one, to say that they're changing all of their stuff to UL approved batteries. That's a good move. I wonder how much more extra money that's going to cost us now. Because it's not going to come cheap. I mean, somebody's got to pay for that certification and testing. If they can do it and keep their prices down, good for them. That's what's needed. If not, we can see the prices going up. Now that's a start. If other manufacturers follow suit and they said, you know what, we're going to do the same thing. You know, then maybe little by little, everyone's going to get their UL certified batteries. It's not to say that non-UL certified batteries are bad. It's just that all the UL thing is they're going to test it. And if they feel that it's passed it, then they get the certification. I think a lot of times the reason manufacturers may not want to do the UL thing is because it takes time to send it through the certification process. It costs money to do it as well. And so companies want to get their stuff out as fast as they can, keep price down so they don't have to charge as much, be more competitive. But we may see that it'll come to a point where they're going to have to do it. We're going to turn here. So anyways, this is never fun stuff to see, but it's what's happening, so that you know what's going on. All right. Oh, by the way, the electric bike company saddle that I'm sitting on is the extra wide saddle. People have asked me if I was gonna buy that for my bike. No, I already have it. Yeah, I've said before that it's probably the cushiest saddle I have. It's nice and wide. It's a traditional saddle. It's not like spring loaded or anything like that, because I'm sitting on a suspension seat post, all right, that was given to me with the bike, and it's nice and wide, and it's pretty cushy. So yeah, when people have asked me which saddle do I feel is the best feeling saddle, I pretty much tell them it's from the electric bike company. It's their saddle that they sell. And if not that, if you just wanted one it has their name on it. If you wanted one from just another brand name, there's the Velo. It's pretty nice. It seems to be very similar to this saddle. Not exactly the same, but very, very similar. I have one of those on my my Euphree City Robin X Plus and City Robin X. Well, actually, it's sitting on the City Robin X Plus right now because I took it off of the City Robin X. They gave it to me for that one. What comes on the City Robin X is a Velo saddle, but it's not quite as wide. So that's why I put back onto that bike. So I moved the wider one to the more recent version, which is called the City Robin X Plus. By the way, the City Robin X is still available, as well as a couple other bikes. I'm going to drop the prices on some of these bikes to try to help move them along. Some people have expressed interest in it, but nobody's committed. So I may drop the price on those. So take a look at the RUSSISRIGHT.blogspot.com site. I have a listing of the bikes that are currently available right now. Mrs. Wright says, get rid of some more. She wants me to get rid of everything. She wants me to get rid of this bike even. She says, get rid of that one. I said, I can't get rid of this one. This one was custom made for me. I don't think Mrs. Wright cares about what kind of bike it is. Just get it out of the house. Yep, that's how she is. Give me back my house is what she wants. Yeah, I've basically taken over the house. The bikes are all over the place. It's really, it is out of control. And some of you guys said, well, maybe you should rent a storage space. No, two reasons for that. First off, Russ is cheap. Told you guys that. I'm gonna pay a monthly fee to store my bikes. And it's not convenient. I would have to drive my car to the storage shed, take a bike out, charge it up, sit around at the storage shed while it's charging, or maybe I bring the batteries home, I don't know. And then ride the bike out of the storage shed and bring it back to the storage shed. It's too difficult. You know, having the bike at home, it's a lot easier to take the bike out on a daily ride. So yeah, we're not doing the storage shed thing. So in the meantime, it's all over the house. Mrs. Wright, not too happy. Not too happy with that. So, so yeah, check the RUSSISRIGHT.blogspot.com site. Check it every now and then, because even if there's bikes there, they say, oh yeah, I've considered it, but it costs more than I want to spend. If it sits there long enough, I'm going to start dropping the prices, because I have to move the bikes out. And again, if you get one of these bikes, you're going to have to come and get it. I cannot ship it. So we're in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. You'll have to come to the northwest suburbs of Chicago to come get it. All right. So take a look at that. So the City Robin X is available. That's the blue one. That's actually the better color. I wish the current bike was either the blue one or the green one, but it's black. So what else? KBO cargo bike is available still. That's the KBO Ranger. I'll probably drop the price on that too. I'm going to drop the prices on these things. I still have the Area 13 Blackbird. Man, that's the old Bolton e-bikes. It says Bolton e-bikes on it. These bikes don't have a whole lot of mileage on them. Yeah, none of them do. Yeah, I don't know exact mileage, but they're all probably under 100 miles. Okay, the Blackbird might have a little bit more. I'm not sure. It's not much though. So in time, some others will go on there. I'm still debating. And we were talking about the Engwe. Should I be selling that or keeping that? Part of me says keep it. Another part of me, meaning Mrs. Wright, says get rid of these things. Well, you just have to watch. But again, that one's been promised to one other person already. He's going to get first crack. If he turns it down, it becomes available, right? So, but again, I haven't decided if and when I will sell that bike. It's too new of a bike, and it is a nice bike. Somebody mentioned recently that he noticed that many of the bikes that I have are not Chinese bikes. And let me put it this way, most of my bikes are Chinese bikes, okay? Yeah, most of them are. He has an Engwe, it sounds like, and he really likes his Engwe, but he says in his area, he sees more Magicycle bikes and I don't know which other brand. Electric, okay? He says, and these American companies are doing better than his Engwe brand. Well, first off, Magicycle is not an American company, it's a Chinese company, okay? And Electric is an American company, but they're buying their bikes from China, okay? They're not made here. So, but as a company, Electric is an American company, yeah. Magicycle is not, no, they're based in China, as is Himiway and other brands that we have, they're from China, yeah. So yeah, most of my bikes are actually Chinese bikes. In fact, most of your bikes are probably Chinese too. They're not Chinese, they're probably Taiwan, okay? Bike parts come from that part of the world, all right? Even if you're an American company, chances are they're buying the frame or other parts from Asia. They're assembling it here, and their company as a company might be Chinese. I'm sorry, it might be American, but the parts are not. So the best they can say is assembled in the United States, as is this bike, the Electric Bike Company. It's an American company, it's based in California. And they build it all in California, but they buy the parts from China and other areas. China, Japan, Taiwan, wherever they happen to be getting the parts from. And they put it together there. So it's actually assembled in the United States as an American company, because they are an American company brand, but they use parts from different parts of the world. So, I mean, Shimano, come on. Where do you think that comes from? That's from Asia. Actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, and Russ is never wrong, just maybe mistaken sometimes. Yeah, we don't use the wrong word. I think the largest frame company is Giant. Yeah, that's Taiwan. I had a Giant bike. I had my my mountain bike was a Giant bike. I ended up donating that to a family in need that needed it for transportation to get to work. But yeah, I think Giant is the largest frame company. Now, a lot of times these companies have their own brand, but then they'll manufacture it for other companies as well. And then those companies put their brand name on it. This is why I sometimes look at these bikes that have been offered to me, a lot of them. I think we're down to now 86, I'm dyslexic, 86 e-bikes that I have turned down, where there's a couple of scooters. Scooters go faster than we do. My scooter went up to 40 miles an hour. These guys probably could do that too. But anyway, 86 bikes were offered to me, asking me to do reviews of them, and I just don't do them because, again, they seem to be very similar bikes. They all kind of look like the electric bike, yeah, that style. A lot of them do. I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of them look like that. So it makes me wonder if they're just buying it from the same factory and just slapping their name on it, and buying batteries from different sources and the like. So it's because of those factors. When I see a bike like that being offered to me, I turn it down immediately. I don't know the company. I don't know how good of their backup will be if you ever buy one of them. Those type of things. So I kind of look a little bit as to, is this a brand that anyone's ever heard of before? Is this something that the average person might say, okay, this might be worth taking a shot on and getting, or is it one of these cheap, electric bike companies that are out there? I heard about a year or so ago at a seminar where somebody said there was over 300 bike brands. I bet you there's more than that now. Think about it. I already had 86 of them I turned down. So if there's only 300, that seems kind of low. I think that it might be higher than that at this point. All right, how's our battery doing? We're down 1 bar. Under load is showing about 47.9 volts. This is a 48 volt battery system on this bike. So I think that means we should be able to go down to around maybe 44 or something like that before it'll kick out. Yeah, whatever. We're still on the front battery. I still have that big battery in the back. It has not been touched yet. We are heading towards the Des Plaines River, if you might not notice. We've done this area before, right? Aldi's Zen Leaf Dispensary, yeah. Legal marijuana on our right-hand side. Here, let me show you this. There it is. Yeah, so there's several different places in this area you can buy marijuana. I know my dentist office, she ended up closing her office, and then the marijuana place that was 2 doors down ended up renting her spot plus the spot next to her, and of course the spot that they were already in. So they took over that entire little strip mall. So I don't know, a lot of people buying legal marijuana or something. All right, we are in front of Target. And I mentioned that the high school that we'll be passing has an open campus policy. It's brought to my attention that maybe that's not a good idea in today's world. And I didn't think about that. He might be right. Yeah, I think that was Pedro mentioned that. That's a good point. I mean, do you want your kids wandering around with all the predators out there? Yeah, see, kids are walking past here. They're heading off to the mall, not the mall, I should say, the strip mall. Grocery store there, there's other stores there. Yeah, back in the day, back in my day, back in the day, open campus wasn't such a bad thing, but I don't know about now. Yeah, the world has changed quite a bit. It has changed. Anyways, I've been throttling most of this time. I'll pedal a little bit here. Pedal a little bit, add a little bit of range to it. I'm on pedal assist level 5, however, so it's eating up battery. I should drop it down, but I'm getting almost 25 miles an hour. At this point, 24.9, 25.5 on pedal assist level 5, 26.5. So yeah, I can do it, but I feel like I'm ghost pedaling more than anything. But open road, like I said, this is a class 3 bike set up for. So I if I pedal it, I should be able to theoretically hit 28 miles per hour. My foot slipped off the pedal. Well, we hit 26 at least. All right. Yeah, the weather is pretty decent right now. You know, I'm not sweating or anything like that. I have a cool breeze hitting me, which is really all I want. I really hate sweating. You know, with the helmet on and everything, you're sweating. That's not fun. And we'll pedal a little bit more. Why not? Thing is, once I start pedaling, I'm braking to 20 miles per hour. This throttle will only bring me to 20. So it's truly a true Class 2 bike. It'll stop assisting at 20. And if you unlock it to turn it into a Class 3, yeah, I'm doing 24, 25 miles an hour. The thing was, with that Rad Rover 5, I was able to do 25 miles an hour throttled. And usually by the time I'm that far away, I want to throttle because you're tired out from even just the standard pedaling. We're heading towards the Des Plaines River. We'll do it. I'll make sure this lady stops here, and she's not stopping. I have a green light, girl. I came up, I looked her in the eye, and she wanted to go through. Then she didn't give me any space. Did you notice that? She could have gone over across the line a little bit to do it. She did not give me any space as she passed me too. Yep. Young driver. I would say she was probably, if she's not high school, she was probably freshman in college or something. Yeah, she was gonna run that light. I mean, we had a green light going forward. She was just gonna go right through it and make her turn. You gotta watch out for these people. I had my hand on the brakes. I was ready for whatever she was gonna do, but I steered her right in the eye as she was trying to pass it, and then she slowed down and gave me a little wave, like, "Oops, sorry." She wouldn't be so sorry if she hit me. Would have made for a good video, though. I always say stuff like that. Yeah, that's just the weird humor in me. You gotta watch out for people. You know, the way she was coming down so quickly, I was wondering whether she was gonna stop or not. This is the problem with riding on the streets, okay? You don't know who's gonna be driving and whether they really pay much attention or not. What's going on here? Smelling up the place. Ugh. I don't know what they're doing. Look at this thing. I'm going in the middle of the street here. It's burning off something, man. That thing smells toxic. It's holding my breath trying to get past it. My first thought was, were they like putting air through the automatic sprinklers or what? But you know, it stunk so bad, and it steamed up so much, or whatever that is, smoke. I don't know what that is going on out there. Wind has picked up a little bit. Now, the Des Plaines River, we could take Camp McDonald Road all the way. I'm gonna pass this yellow light first. I could have turned down there, it probably would have been better. The way I usually go is I go on Kensington Road because it's I guess a little less traveled road. It's going out of my way. I'm going out of the distance and then coming back in. If I took Camp McDonald, I'd be pretty much right at the Des Plaines River, I think, that general area. They're not too far from it. But as I thought about it, I said, well, let's just duplicate what we did last time and then stay safe by staying on the safer road. Now, last time we went through the industrial park as well. I don't think we need to really do that. It's really just the distance we're interested in. I mean, it adds some distance, but there's no real reason to do it. We're showing 47.3 volts under load. We have gone a distance of 13.2 miles already. And we're still on the front battery. Front battery showing 1 bar down. So, yeah, I don't think the batteries were charged up the last time we took this bike out to do this ride. So I could take this too, this Euclid, but again, it's busier street. I'm not going to do it. I'll take the safer route. You know, these long rides are, even though I'm not really pedaling, I'm pedaling here and there, they still take something out of you. They make you a little tired out. It's probably because you're sitting on the saddle the whole time. But I've hopped off of it now, seeing that this is a step-through bike. I'm just straddling the bike at this point. All right, our turn's coming. Come on. There we go. You know, the interesting thing with this bike is people watch me ride it. The first thought they probably say is, wow, that's an interesting looking bike. You know, it's a beach cruiser, right? Then the second thing they're thinking is, yeah, that's a really big guy on a bike like that. I'll guarantee you that's what they're thinking. Yeah, I look really kind of funny on it because I'm a big guy on a beach cruiser with a yellow vest on. Yep, let's turn here. Let's take the side streets. Take the side streets, take it easier, safer. Cut across when we have to. Yep, now I'm beginning to think, what's the Des Plaines River gonna look like? I mean, we had a lot of hot weather. Is that water level down at this point? I'm thinking it's gonna be lower. Last time we came out, water level wasn't too bad. You know, it's not very high up there anyway, but it didn't look too bad. Well, this is a Friday that I'm recording this. I already have a video for you for Saturday, so this video probably won't come out until maybe Tuesday, I'm thinking. Yeah, you won't see this till Tuesday. Alright. Wind is not blowing up against my face now as much. As I say that, and it happens. Need more water again. These Tektro Dorado brakes, it's a 4-piston brake, are really good. That's why I don't worry about hitting the brakes one-handed if I need to. gotta lean over to put that water bottle back there. Yeah, this bike I sit pretty much totally upright. I always feel really tall on this bike. First off, it's a big bike, so when you sit on the saddle, it's just way up there because I always have really good leg extension, as you know. So I sit really tall, pretty straight too. So the angle of view is always a little bit different on the various bikes that you get on. Like when I was on the Engwe X24, I was leaning forward, so you can see a lot of the handlebar thing because I'm leaning forward towards the bike. So I think I need to cut across. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut across. Let's try this street. If I go too far up, I'll end up on Euclid again, I believe, and then I'd have to cut across, and I don't want to be on Euclid if I can avoid it. And when I go through various neighborhoods, I hear back from some of you guys that said, that's my old neighborhood, you know, or within reason, you know, maybe you lived there years ago, but you recognize it as part of your old neighborhood. I think, yeah, I need to go left, but I'm gonna take this right. I'm trying to cut across to Kensington without having to take Euclid to do it, and I think if I went left I would have hit Euclid, so I'm backtracking a little bit. How about this street? Newberry. Okay, let's see if it's Newberry. Yep, this brings me to Kensington. I'll take a left on Kensington. Yeah, I gotta know some of the streets, know some of the options you have. Oop, can't go. I was gonna go, but then right out of the corner of my eye I saw that car coming from the right side, but the Amazon truck is blocking it, so you couldn't see it until like it's too late. But I hit the brakes really quick. I could have made it if there was no car there. But again, they block your vision. You can't see the car coming until it's like too late. But I did notice that the minute I hit my brakes, and we were just talking about our brakes, I hit the front brake hard. I hit it hard enough that the rear tire stood up. Yeah, I was on front wheel only. Front wheel only, how do you like that? It's because the brake had stopped the front wheel so hard that it stood me up on the front wheel. It's like doing a reverse wheelie. That's the power of a good brake. It's a hydraulic brake. Okay, it's one of the better hydraulic brakes. It's better than your standard Tektro hydraulic brake. It's called the Tektro Dorado. Yeah, whenever you have an option to get a hydraulic brake versus a mechanical brake, spend the money and get the hydraulic brake. I think you'll be happier on the long run that you did it. It's an easier pull. You don't have to pull hard and it'll have a lot of force to stop. And you stop very well. I know not all bikes still have hydraulic brakes though. To keep costs down, the mechanical disc brakes are still around for bikes that are in the $1,000, $1,200 ranges are still mechanical disc brakes. But if your bike offers that as an option between the two, spend the money. get the better brakes. First off, it's safer for you, and it's a lot easier on your hands and pulling on it. So coming down here on Kensington, I'm only doing 20 miles an hour, but it's a 2-lane highway, 2-lane street, not a highway. So if people want to pass you, they got to move to the other lane. I still take a third of the lane though. I force them to make that decision to pass me. If they want to pass me, they got to move. Drivers don't like it, but hey, it's my safety I'm looking at. All right, we're down 2 bars left on the battery. So I think we have enough to get us there and back a little bit, but then we're gonna run out of battery, and then at that point we will switch over to the rear battery, which of course has plenty of power to get me back home. It's a bigger battery than what's in the front, I believe. I don't know what the split is. Gotta find out how much is in the back, how much is in the front. Temperature shows 77 degrees on the display temperature, but again, like I said, I don't trust it. I don't think it really is. Let's see if this, whoops, time to go. Well, we'll look at it later. Gotta move, gotta move. We're on Des Plaines River Road now. So this is 45 miles an hour, but of course I can only do 20. 71 degrees according to Apple. 78 degrees according to the display screen. I think when the sun hits it, it reads the heat from the sun. Doesn't seem to read the actual ambient temperature. Alright, we'll be pulling off here a little bit. All right, let's go visit the dam. They call it dam number 2 because there's a dam up ahead of it. Let's see how the water level is. Now, I didn't ride my bike down this thing because it's kind of like gravel, so I'm going to walk it down like I did last time. Yeah, just the level's still fairly decent. We will walk it down. Yeah, so you can see it sliding out from under me when I hit the brakes, because it's really not that steady. If you tried to ride this, you'd probably fall over. It's really loose stuff. This is really a boat launch, if you wanted to launch your boat down this thing. I've tried to fish this before, way in the past, but never had any luck. It's really low level. You got the geese there. I'm not gonna go all the way down. I'll stop over here. Yeah, there's quite a few geese out here. Show you what that looks like there. I'm holding the bike and holding the camera a little bit here. All right. That may be kind of cool if you'd be able to see some fish swimming across, but no, I don't think we'll be that lucky. Well, we got the geese. All right, let's turn around. Turn the bike around. All right, so should I switch to the back battery or keep going? I think I'm just gonna keep going a little bit. See how far this battery will take me. I think the last time we took the Des Plaines Trail back. I'm sorry. Prospect Heights Trail back. I may do that again. All right, it shows 2 bars. I think this meter is 4 bars, just looking at it. Pull up a little bit here. Yeah, 45.5 volts under load. It doesn't have that much more, but let's keep going on it. See how far it brings us to. Let me think here now. If I did Euclid, I could get onto the path faster instead of the long route that I did, but then I'd be riding with the cars more. Should we do it or not? What do you think? Well, let's see. Let's see how far away it actually is. Well, it's by the stoplight. It's not so bad, I guess. I have to take a left turn into it, though. No, to err on the safety side, we're going to go back the way we came, even though that's the longer route between the two. Yeah, gotta go for safety. Can't go for the convenience only. Yeah, better to take the safer roads. This part of the road is not the safest road. Look at these old cars over here. They got 2 old Model Ts and like a big carriage looking thing. And they've been trying to sell that for a while, but those look really beat up. They're not really restored well. I think they're gonna have a hard time selling that. But you never can tell. Sometimes people will just do it anyway and they'll buy something like that and they restore it themselves. I remember growing up, there was the guy who lived across the alley from us. We lived in Chicago and they had alleys back then in that neighborhood. He restored one of those cars. Took him years. As you know, I'm growing up as a kid, and all we see him is out every weekend. He's working on the car. When he was done and he finished the paint job and everything, that thing looked really good. I mean, it looked really good. Amazing job that he did. I could appreciate it even as a kid. All right, well, let's pedal a little bit here. Pedal and throttle. Forget the throttle, just pedal. You forget the throttle and just pedal, it speeds you up. When you're on pedal assist level 5. Alright, we're moving to the front of the pack here. Moving to the front of the pack. Only to go behind a pack. They're all gonna pass me. Back to the back of the pack. Yeah, it's not long lasting. Push back to the back. Tennis courts. Nobody's playing tennis. They're all at school. Kids are back in school. So, I won't keep you forever. It'll be too long of a video. I'll let you guys know how I did. I'll put a little graphic up there at the end. Let you know how far this thing went on just the front batteries. And whether I had to switch off to the other battery too. In a sense, it's kind of like doing a range test of the front batteries first. I mean, sooner or later we had to do the range test. So since we've gone this far, we might as well just keep doing it until that thing exhausts, so that we kind of know how far the front battery range really is from fully charged. Because like I said, I charged it up just before I left the house. Obviously, full charge makes a big difference. Because the last time I was running the rear battery first, kind of ran out, had to put to the front batteries, and then just barely made it home. So yeah, got to find out why the thing drains. I have no idea why it does that. Anyways, check your own batteries too. Find out if your batteries do that or not. You know, if you haven't touched your bike in a while and you know that you charged it fully, try topping it off. See if that takes 2 hours of additional charge. I mean, if it does, then it's draining somewhere too. You're not getting everything that you think you're getting when you leave in the morning with your bike. So anyways, I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. Watch the graphic. I'll put it up and let you know how I did. And then we'll do the other battery one day. Not today. It'll be too much to ride around today. So anyways, I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.